Alright, we're going to look at some of the California skill check that you have for homework here. So this first one deals with this pie chart, which has percentages on it. So they asked 3,600 people these questions in terms of their activity, and these are what came back in terms of hours in a 24-hour period. And then they averaged those values to get the sleep, other, entertainment, work, food, how people spent their time. And so we're asked down here, each of the circle represents a measurable quantity. What is that quantity? Well, that quantity is the number of hours that were spent doing something. So we could add up for all of the 3,600 people how much time they spent sleeping, and then we have that our total is 24 hours for all 3,600 people. So we could get the number of hours. In terms of each circle represents an average, so it's our average of the 3,600 participants, right? We take our total number of hours, and then we divide it by how much they had for each piece in terms of sleep, food, and whatnot. For the second one, we get into some arcs, and so we have minor arcs, which are less than 180, and then we have major arcs that are greater than 180. And the way that we name them is you go in orders, like EDC is E, D, all the way around to C, so it's that big arc there. It's a major arc. We're asked to identify 4 major arcs from point E. So there's point E. We're looking for major arcs that are greater than a semicircle, which is 180 degrees. And so if we look for a first one, we could just try to sketch it. Well, that's one that's greater than 180 that has E inside of it. And the way that we're going to name that is we start here, and then we go to A, but we need to give a direction. So we have to specify E or D within there. And so we can call it CEA. You go from CEA all the way across. We could also look at this one. And again, we need a starting point, and we need a direction, and we need to end at E. And so DAE, DAE moves me there. I could also look at that one, which would be ACD, A to C to D, all the way around. And then the last one that I could find, we could also name it differently, right? Because it has C and E are both in there, so either one would work. The fourth one is from point E all the way around to there, which is EDC. Right? You start at E, you go towards D, you end at C. All right. For our last one, we're dealing with the measurements of arcs, and the thing to keep in mind is we have an angle here in the middle. So I'm looking at COD, that angle right there. It's the same as the arc measure. So if the arc measure is 58, that is my angle. It's going to be 58 degrees. So it's pretty straightforward. The central angle is the arc measure. And now you start to look at arc measures. So CDA, is that there? Well, that's half of a circle or a semicircle, which means that it has a measurement of 180 or half of 360. And then I look at measure of arc AD. That is this piece here. I can see it was my semicircle minus 58 degrees. So 180 minus 58 leaves me with 122. And then up next, we have BAD, right? Measure of arc BAD, is that there? And I can see that was all the way around minus the red piece. So all the way around is 360. Take away this piece that we know, 58 plus 32 is 90. So what's left with that, 360 minus 90 is 270. That's the measure of that arc from that central angle.